Good afternoon. This is Greg Steen, and you are watching Truth for Seniors. We are brought to you out of the awesome studios of CentralValleyTalk.com in the beautiful Central Valley of California. Glad to have you with us. We are sponsored by Steen and Company, which is some little company that I know a little bit about, and having founded that several years ago. Steen and Company specializes in asset protection, and when you haven't planned, the last thing you need to do is try to plan and spend a lot of money and time with finding out you don't have a lot of options. And so Steen and Company, we are local. We take care of people around the globe, and we are at 1-800-456-7559, or on the web you can find us at protectyourlifesavings.com. So, paid a bill or two, so now we can get into the show here. I am so excited today to have our guest who is sitting in the wings, ready and willing to share her vast knowledge with us. But before I do that, I just want to tell you that I really appreciate the response that we're getting through the emails and through the phone calls. We've said from day one it's our goal to give you the most accurate and up-to-date information possible, and so that's what we're going to do, and that's what we are doing. The other thing that we said we wanted to do and we felt that we were called to do is to give you the information that you were asking for some clarification about, or maybe the truth about. So you're going to see a lot more of that. So that's why I appreciate the input and feedback. And so when you do have questions or concerns, email us at info@truthforseniors.com. Email us at greg@protectyourlifesavings.com. You can catch us on the web. Any of the social media sites that we have, it's all under Truth for Seniors. You can catch us at Steen and Company. Any of those that you find, just shoot us your thoughts, and we'll make sure that we address them. And so one of them that we wanted to address is, somebody asked me, how in the world are we ever going to find what we really need to know about all these changes with Medicare and Obamacare, which I call Obama lack of care. Where do we go with that? And so one of the things that we've done is we've got somebody going to publish some articles on our new website about that. But we had a show a couple weeks ago. We might replay part of that next week. But we'll definitely be dealing with that. And also we have a great person that's going to be on the show, Susan Hatch, who's probably one of the most knowledgeable Medicare supplement insurance people that I know. Somebody who stays very, very up to date with her information. One of the few that I'm glad to say knows a lot more about me than about that subject, and so she'll be on. But that is a subject that we definitely want to cover. It's something that seems to be on everybody's mind right now, especially seniors. And the good news is, folks, quite honestly, most of you aren't going to see many changes. Obamacare doesn't really affect too much people that are over 65. And I know that the news is telling you different. And I know that your neighbor's probably, concerned and maybe telling you different. But from everything that we're seeing from the insurance companies, and actually, believe it or not, there are people who actually read the bill, and not like the senators and Congress people who passed it so they could read it. That's about the dumbest thing I've heard of. And the people who are actually reading it and are figuring it out understand that it's not going to be that big of a difference. And so hopefully that's good news. I know a lot of people are concerned about the fact that they don't already have enough money in retirement. Now the government's going to get more of it through forced fees and things like that, and we're going to make sure that at least you have, again, the most accurate, up-to-date information possible. And so that being said, I have next to me a very, very good friend of mine and ours at Steen and Company, Mrs. Jen Dahl, who is the marketing director for a great group of people in Fresno called Twilight Haven. So welcome.
Thank you. It's
Good to
awesome
see you
to be
again.
here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been too long. So Jen's been a guest of ours on the radio show several times, and very much a part of what we've done at Steen and Company and Truth for Seniors. Has a passion to, I think, take care of people the way that you would just take care of your own grandma or your mom.
Absolutely.
Knowing that you've done both, personally.
Yes. Over
I
20
can,
years.
yeah, I can attest to that, and that's pretty good for just being 29. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. But so tell us a little bit about. I know there's a lot of exciting things going on at Twilight Haven, folks. Just so you know. Don't you love that when a host says, "Tell us," and then they start, they keep telling you, right? They don't shut up. But before I shut up, I will tell you this. Many times people ask us at Steeny Company, who would we recommend because they need to find a place for mom or dad. And we've always said that Twilight Haven is absolutely one of our very first choices, if not the first choice, for a lot of reasons. And if you don't cover them all, make sure that I share them. But tell us what's going on.
Well, lots of wonderful, great things are happening at Twilight Haven. Just a kind of a little bit background information about Twilight Haven. We are a nonprofit senior community. We lie on 10 acres. A lot of people don't know how large we are, but 10 acres is actually quite big, and we're over by Pacific College at Butler and Winery.
Especially if you're having to mow it.
Exactly, a lot of lawn. But we have independent apartments, assisted living, and skilled nursing. And to me, I really truly feel we have the best staff. They're family friendly, and they really do care about our residents.
Absolutely.
And, I love Twilight Haven so much. I have placed my own mother there. She lives in the independent apartments, and
that was before you worked there.
That was even before I worked there. So
I actually
she
remember
needed
you
to find
walking in the day that I was walking out.
Yeah. She needed to find affordable housing because, as you know, our aging loved ones, most all of them are on limited income, and what I really loved is with the apartments, the PG&E's included. So
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
So that's with her being on oxygen and someone that likes her apartment at 68 degrees. That's really convenient to have PG&E included. So
that's huge.
That's very huge.
Wow.
Especially with the rates going up and up.
Yeah.
But with that, since we are a nonprofit, we rely on donations. So that's definitely one of the main reasons why I'm here today, is to educate people about our community. We have a few different events that we're going to be doing. One's in October. It's going to be an October fest right before Halloween, and we would like to do a big barbecue for the residents and their families that are available.
Special friends that
and
like
special
barbecue.
Friends, definitely
Okay.
like yourself, and and the staff and their family. And we're also doing a Christmas dinner, and we are definitely needing donations for that as well.
So, folks, I don't know if you, like me, sometimes you need to hear something at least more than once to actually gain the value of it. But I want to back up a minute. You said that they have independent living, assisted living, and skilled nursing.
Correct.
Now, I'd have to think for a little bit, and it's after lunch, so I don't know how good I'll do at that. But there's very few that have all three types of.
There's probably only one or two
That's
other
what I'm
locations here in the Central Valley.
Okay. So what that means to you is that you have the ability to have your loved one basically stay on the same campus.
Yes.
Until the Lord takes them home. I mean, that's huge, because I've seen the effects of transfers and discharges and whatnot. They need to acclimate, they need to adapt to a new surrounding, and so not having to do that is really
Absolutely.
a huge plus, isn't it?
It's the transition's very easy. It's just from one building to the next. And even when you're in the independent, you can still do the activities in our Memorial Hall with our activities department. There's coffee socials every morning. There's all these different events. You can be as social as you like, and it's an amazing experience. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted my mother to be there, is just the fact that, just so I don't have to look for anywhere else, because I've already found the best and everything's right there. And I just have to move her from one building to the next, and she already knows all the stuff.
Well, and that's something that, I had Marie Espinola with the Alzheimer's Foundation on last week, and we were talking about things not to say to people that have dementia and Alzheimer's, and not to correct them and certain things like that. But one of the big things that we didn't get a chance to talk about is, if at all possible, don't move them.
Absolutely.
Don't change their surroundings, because there's a point I've learned where they're comfortable being uncomfortable, and they'd rather have that than move into something else and have a
Yeah.
whole new process again. And because I don't know if if this is actually scientific or if you've experienced it, but in my experience, I've seen a lot of people, it's like they take a step down almost each time they have to have a move. It's like they
Yeah.
lose something in the process.
Whether you have Alzheimer's or not,
Mhm.
once you get to a certain age bracket, they don't want to move. They don't want any change. They know their schedule and they stick with it.
And they seem
so
to be very, very regimented.
Yes.
And that seems to be something that helps. I mean, quite honestly, I'm
helps
only
your stress level.
52. It helps all of us to have,
Right.
some kind of,
Even children.
known schedule. Yeah, amen. And I mean, so if we don't like it, how much more somebody who possibly at times is confused or is already stressed out and concerned because they know they're not always maybe tracking or remembering or operating at the most optimum level. And so I know that it's just been my experience that people seem to lose something when they make a big move.
And when usually what happens is it's usually an emergency situation that, oh my gosh, mom or dad broke their hip, they go into the hospital, they have the surgery, they go into rehab, and then as part of their rehab, they go into skilled nursing.
Mhm.
That's when all of a sudden, oh my gosh, what's happening? But usually what we like to tell families is before something like that happens, bring in a caregiver into the home. So should and when
Oh, yeah.
something happens, help them transition. And should families feel, okay, it might be a time to transition to an assisted, certainly talk to your doctor, but choose one to just go for bingo one day and have them experience that location, because when usually residents hear about assisted living, they think we're putting them into some sort of nursing home and they're going to be just
Strapped into the bed.
strapped into the bed. But really, to me, assisted living is a permanently docked cruise ship. You
kidding.
get
Some
your
of them really
breakfast,
are,
lunch, and
aren't they?
dinner. There is entertainment throughout the day. And, there's the salon. There's all these fun things to do, and you don't have to worry about anything. That's an assisted living facility. I don't know
Yeah.
about anyone else, but I cannot wait to get into assisted living. I don't want to do my laundry anymore.
Hey,
I
tell
don't
me
want
about
to
it, I'll
cook
tell
my
you.
dinner anymore.
No
Let someone else do
kidding.
it. That's an assisted living.
Is that why you
so.
got married? Just okay, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. If you haven't really looked into them, I know a lot of times people will call after the show and say, "Wow, you know what? I really found that information great."
Yeah.
But and we can always have fun. But seriously, there are such great medical reasons to seek out the benefits of assisted living, even independent living in an older community.
Absolutely.
Where more of their friends are around, because a lot of them, I know we're going to take a break here in a minute, but and you're going to stay over and talk to us in the second one. Thanks for volunteering. And so we know that a lot of times when mom and dad remain in their home, they're there by themselves. They may or may not have the same neighbors for 40 years. A lot of times they don't anymore. But
Right.
going to a senior community where everyone around them is a lot more like them gives them more peace of mind. They can relate and talk to people
Right.
better. And so with that, we're going to take a quick break. Truth for Seniors, and we'll be right back with Jen Dahl from Twilight Haven.
Did you know you could buy a home in this foreclosure market for as little as $500 a month? If you want your kids to go to McLean High School, Scandinavian Middle School, or Erickson, take a look at this beautiful home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. There's a beautiful rock wall to put a wood-burning stove. There's also a very open floor plan with another fireplace. The kitchen, you've got to see the kitchen. It has a beautiful snack bar for your kids to sit and do their homework while you're preparing the dinner. Under $500 a month. Call us and see if you're qualified. Call Mike Briggs at Mike Briggs Properties at 486-6758 or go to MikeBriggsProperties.com.
You can purchase this nearly new home near Kings Canyon and Fowler Avenues for as little as $800 a month. At 1,700 square feet, it has 4 bedrooms and 2 baths and a 3-car garage. It is located near Sunnyside Shopping Centers and has great access to Freeway 180. This home is located in the Clovis Unified School District. For more information on any of our properties, check out MikeBriggsProperties.com or call Mike Briggs Properties at 486-6758.
Hi, I'm Greg Rude, a local real estate agent working with London Properties. You might be thinking about buying or selling a property right now, or maybe you just have a question about real estate. I'd love to help you with that. Give me a call at 352-7716, and I can answer any questions that you might have. Maybe you've got a property that's upside down. Maybe you're interested in buying a bank foreclosure and have a question about that. Or maybe you just like someone to show you some houses that you're interested in or have a question about a particular property. Once again, give me a call. My name's Greg, 352-7716, and I'd love to help you. Thanks.
You're watching CentralValleyTalk.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
And we're back here at Truth for Seniors. I'm Greg Steen, and I am joined by Jen Dahl, the Marketing Director for Twilight Haven Senior Community. Just having a great time. We always do. Wish we could do this more often. Maybe we will. Who knows? But we're talking about, Twilight Haven. It's one of our really top choices. The administrator is Sharon. She's an incredibly wonderful lady.
She's amazing.
I don't know everybody there, but I know Teresa's been there. I think she's actually part of the structure now, if I remember right. She's
been there
if
quite
you're
a few
watching
years.
her, you see this Teresa. I do love you. She's a great gal. She is really somebody that's helped a lot of our clients through the years. But I also know that Twilight Haven isn't resting on its laurels. You have a project. I don't know if you can talk about that or not, but you have a project that is of expansion, I guess. It's forthcoming, maybe?
Yes, that's a secret that's about to come out.
Okay, well, then we can move on.
We certainly know that Alzheimer's is a growing problem, and it's near and dear to my heart. My husband's grandfather had Alzheimer's and ultimately passed away because of this disease. My grandmother just got diagnosed with dementia, which she's my very best friend, if you know anything about me. So that's definitely near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And Twilight Haven would love to fundraise and to expand within our 10 acres to have a memory care unit. Of course, that
that'd be
takes
awesome.
finances. That takes a couple dollars. And because we know of the growing problem, which I just found out that within Fresno County, within our seniors within our Fresno County, it's 1 in 3 has already been diagnosed.
It's already been 1
Fresno
in
County
3. So you're talking maybe
seniors
people like over
within Fresno
65 maybe or something?
65 and over.
Really?
Within Fresno County alone.
Oh my gosh.
It's a growing problem, and
And where are they all being cared for?
unfortunately, a lot of them have to be home. And with one of the things that happens with Alzheimer's, the just walking away and just kind of,
Sure.
it
They begin to wander.
they do the
They keep
wandering.
night hours instead of
they do
daylight hours.
they do the night hours, along with a lot of the other symptoms.
Is it safe to say that, I won't say a majority, but a very large number of people that have dementia and or Alzheimer's are being under cared for?
Absolutely. And it's no fault of the family. One, there's not enough funds to get either grandma or grandpa into a
Sure.
a location that is safe and for Alzheimer's or dementia, because it's quite pricey. Some
Sure.
are $4,000-$5,000 a month.
Well, and most
lot of
people
people
haven't
can't-
planned.
They
You know,
that and
They don't have long-term care. They haven't planned.
yeah.
And a lot of times, I know when we were selling it years ago, it was always, well, it's not going to happen to me, or well,
Right.
what if I, spend all that money paying the premiums, but I never use it?
Yeah.
But what if you do? I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm folks,
just-
I'm not selling long-term care insurance, so I understand where I'm headed here.
Yeah.
But we have this whole generation of people that have literally not planned, and so by default, they've planned, as we all know that old saying, to fail in the area of
Yeah.
providing the necessary means to be able to pay for this. And so,
Yeah.
again, my experience has been that a lot of people are being undercared for at home, which is where we always want to be.
Exactly.
And it's a burden not on the fault of the family, like you said, but unfortunately carried by the family because of a lack of planning
Yeah.
in many cases. And so, unfortunately, here you have a generation of people that have never wanted to be dependent on anybody, manage their money, well for the most part, very frugal, not going to be beholden to anybody. And yet, because of their unwillingness, now they are the thing they didn't want to be.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's exactly what has happened to my own parents. I've been a family caregiver, like I was telling you before, for over 20 years for my father. And he has a rare form of dementia.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm now caring for my mother for the past year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I help watch over my grandmother long distance in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely someone that's been that family caregiver, and,
Sure.
and it's very tough, but you want to care for your parents. That's your loved ones. They took care of you.
Well, absolutely.
It's only, but there are certain times where you could say, you know what, I need help, and they need more medical attention than what I can provide.
Well,
And
okay,
there
let
comes
me-
that guilt,
let me
and that's
introduce-
when they give
yeah.
us a call, and that's what we're there for.
Let me discuss that real quick, because that's one of the biggest things, as you know, that we battle, especially not so much with our, my generation. I got you by a lot of years, I know that, but the people that are in there, especially in their 80s, they have such a, and it's a good thing, but they have such a loyalty to be the caregiver instead of, we talked about last week, caretaker versus caregiver. One can manage the care and one's the one actually doing it all. Well, dad, if he gets Alzheimer's or dementia, mom cares for him. He's 85, she's 82, she's going downhill. And
Who's
I
caring
learned
for
last
her?
week, a third of the time they die first. Well, at some point we have to have that discussion. You can be the caregiver or the caretaker, but maybe we need to help you understand there's a difference, because at some point, folks, you are not the best one from a medical qualification to care for your loved one, and that's one of the hardest decisions that
It's
people have to walk through. I know a lot of times I get asked by the children, the adult children, to tell dad that. It's like, well, you tell him. I know what's going to happen already.
And a lot of parents, they just make that assumption that, oh, well, my daughter's going to take care of me.
yeah,
Does your daughter know that?
yeah,
Is she okay with that?
yeah. And is your daughter working? Is she
Yeah.
got children at home still?
My mother was under the assumption that I was going to pay for all of her funeral costs, that I was going to be paying for everything and just supporting her once
That's
she
awful
hit that
nice
bit.
of you, Jen. Geez.
And I unfortunately am not a millionaire, and I can't do that. Plus, I have other family members I'm caring for.
Yeah.
So I had what I call a come to Jesus meeting with mom, and we took care of business and got her the plans that she needed to take care of. But yeah, it's that communication, and it's so important to have communication with your parents and your children for
It
yourself
is.
on what
It's-
you want.
Yeah, it's huge. So in the last few minutes that we have, by the way, if I forget, run out of time, thanks so much. I always
Anytime.
enjoy chatting with you. But Twilight Haven is an awesome place in my opinion. Not because the buildings are so beautiful or because the grounds are so immaculate, both of which are true. It's because the people who make up Twilight Haven. But if you can, take a few minutes, just tell me, what separates Twilight Haven? Why do we all like Twilight Haven?
I think one is the longevity. We've been around over 50 years.
Wow.
We are, like I said, we're a nonprofit, so anything that comes in goes right back in. And our staff are stellar. I absolutely love our staff, from our administrator to our director of nursing to our director of wellness, Teresa, and our activities director, Amy. She's stellar, and they do it because they care and that they love each and every single one of the residents, and that's the reason why I do what I do.
I was just going to say, I've learned, if I've learned anything, people that are in the industry that you're in, if they've been in probably more than 3 or 4 years, it's because they would do it regardless and maybe have already been doing it,
Right.
with family members, with close friends. I spoke with a lady yesterday who's a geriatric care nurse here in town, and I actually was asking her to be a guest on the show, and she is a great person. And she said, well, yeah, let me think about it. I'm a little bit busy. I'm moving in. Get this. A friend of my mom's from LA, I think it was, who's like 96. So she's such a close friend of the family. She's moving her up into her home. And they're a very busy family, adult kids. Her husband's a physician. She runs his office. And I mean, just great people. And now she's bringing in this lady. She's going to coordinate. She's going to be the caretaker. She's going to coordinate, a care plan and bring in caregivers. And, it's like, this is huge. I mean, this lady's passion is to love people and help them, whether she's getting paid or not getting paid. It's just who she is. You're that way,
Right.
And I know that anytime people have had like a very, very successful, for lack of better words, end of life experience, it's because people cared more about them than they did about, did I fill out the chart completely, or did I, did I please my boss? It's like, did I really give of myself to you? And one of the things that we're really trying to do at Truth for Seniors is to bring out to our listeners and to people that, will watch this at some point down the road, the people that we know firsthand will put people before profits, that will put their best interest ahead of the company's best interest, and will give people all of the information that they need, not just what works best. People go to stockbrokers, and whether you're 20, 40, 60, or 80, I'll guarantee you 95% of the time everybody gets the same investment advice.
Right.
That's going to generate some love phone
Scary.
calls, I'm sure, but that's the truth. And so and it can't be that way, obviously. So one thing that I know we appreciate, and why we send people to Twilight Haven, is because they have a passion for people. And I believe that's one of the differences. I've been in every nursing home, I've been in every assisted living, and there's great ones. And folks, the majority of them are really, really good people with the same passion. But if I had to, quite honestly, choose, why are you looking at me that way? You're like, you really want to say that? Yes, I really want to say that. My first choice would be Twilight Haven. Absolutely. And I know the people, but I will say this, there's other great ones out there, not trying to create any enemies here, but it takes somebody with extra passion. And when it's my mom or my dad or my loved one, I want somebody who I know is just going to be there for them. So here we are running out of time. Thank you so much.
Oh, no
I
problem. It's
appreciate
been a
you so
pleasure.
much. We are going to take a break here in just a minute. We're going to introduce you again to David Mose with Assisted Transition, who has same passion, same purpose, is to give people the very best. And you will be impressed when you see what they do. Back in a minute.
This segment is brought to you by Corrine Hatfield of Platinum Mortgage. If you are thinking of purchasing a new home or refinancing an existing home, call Corrine Hatfield at 917-7111. You want to know why I love Fresno? You want to know what's going on in Fresno this weekend? Well, start your weekend off with me, Chuck Leonard, right here on CentralValleyTalk.com, Fridays at 4 o'clock. You'll see comedians, you'll see live bands, you'll see people in Fresno that actually love being from Fresno. I'm Chuck Leonard, and I'm your best anchor.
This just in. Tower District houses are selling for as little as $300 per month. If you have a job and decent credit, you can own your own home. If you can come up with a down payment, you can own a home a lot cheaper than you can rent, and your payment will never go up. Also, you could deduct most of your house payment from your income taxes. If you'd like to lock in your monthly house payment at $300 to $500 per month for the next 30 years, call Mike Briggs Properties, 486-6758. Mike Briggs Properties, 6758.
Hey, my name is Chris DeVold, and I am host of one of CentralValleyTalk.com's hottest new shows, Sex, Drugs, and Chris DeVold, where we sit around for an hour and read the Bible. No, we don't. You think with a name like Sex, Drugs, and Chris DeVold, that's what we're doing? No. We sit around, we talk about lewd topics, we drink beer, and I vow to bring you one local live musician every friggin' week. You can count on that. So grab your best friend, come to the studio or watch from home, and get ready to blush every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on Sex, Drugs, and Chris DeVold.
You can advertise your business, your product, or your event on Central Valley Talk, the Valley's only internet television station. Several of our programs are also picked up on Dish and cable networks. For the best advertising dollar, call Central Valley Talk at 579-1360.
You're watching CentralValleyTalk.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Hey, we're back. Truth for Seniors. I'm Greg Steen, and we are coming to you from Central Valley Talk. So thanks for all the feedback. I know that our last segment, opening up Jen Dahl, just an awesome friend, a great person, a wealth of information, and a great representative for Twilight Havens. So if anybody from Twilight Havens listening, congratulations, because you got a winner. So anyway, now we want to talk with another wonderful person that I think is equally qualified, and somebody that I just have known a very short time, but in the very short time I have known Dave, I feel like I've met somebody that is of similar passion and purpose. And so David Mose with Assisted Transition. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
I'm hoping that you will be a regular part of this program. Because you've shown me that you're doing things that you don't have to do because you feel the right thing to do, as opposed to just something that you can do to fill your time. And I want to go back just a minute. I think the last time you were on the show, I told the story about how you, or maybe it was actually in between then. Maybe it was, come to think of it, but whether it was or not, I'm going to try to remember that right now. But you took one of our clients that we referred to you, who needed a place for her mother.
Correct.
And like most people, when they make that decision, it's not sometime in the next few months, it's yesterday.
Right.
So I believe that was a Friday, wasn't it?
Friday
afternoon
call.
or evening?
Got a Friday call
Okay.
late in the afternoon, about 4 o'clock.
Okay. And if I remember right, and you correct me, you met with her the next day on a
true.
Saturday.
That's true.
Sunday, I believe, took her and toured a couple of facilities.
Correct.
Okay. They decided on a facility Sunday, and I think Tuesday, Mom got to move in.
Yes, she was available to move in Tuesday. They started moving in the furniture.
Okay.
And then she physically moved in at the end of the week.
Wow. And from what you were telling me, because you follow up, which is amazing, she's actually adapted and is doing really well.
Right. I've been back to visit her twice since she moved in.
Uh-huh.
And she was still a little unsure the first time. I came about 3 days after she'd been moved in.
Okay.
She wasn't absolutely sold on the idea of dealing with other people her own age, which is a surprising but often true issue.
Is it really?
It is. It's surprising.
Wow. Huh.
I went to see her again about a week ago, and she is now sold on living in an independent living, in her case,
Really?
facility. She enjoys having not to make her own meals.
Oh, yeah. Who
Enjoys
wouldn't,
having
huh?
all the other people in the place that she can talk to. Enjoys the music that they have. At least once a week they have a music
Really?
group come in.
Wow.
She's really enjoying it.
Well, and like we were kind of saying with Jen earlier, I mean, who wouldn't, enjoy somebody, taking care of your meals, cleaning your place, maybe for a few extra bucks, even doing your laundry,
Correct.
And you've got the association and opportunity for new friendships with people that are your own age, have probably similar interests, I think it's huge. Too many people seem to be living in their home lonely. They don't talk on the phone too much. They don't have the activities that they maybe could somewhere else.
And it's a chore for them just to go out and do their grocery shopping,
Oh,
just to
yeah.
do their needs, whatever
Yeah.
they may be, the
And-
medical appointments, everything that happens takes a half a day for them. But they don't get any interaction, is the way I put it.
You know what?
There's no
That's-
real interaction, and that's the key difference when you go into a good community.
I think that one of the things we all need is that interaction.
It is, absolutely.
And they seem, like you say, they seem to get less and less. I'm kind of chuckling because you've already hit about 4 red flags for me that I just think are such important things. But folks, a lot of times when you're looking at, you know, am I providing the proper level of care by keeping mom at home because that's what she wants? That's what her heart wants. But we all know that at some time, you know, at some point, we've got to look past our heart to see what is best for mom. Is it the proper place to care for mom? And am I the proper one to care for mom? But, you know, what we're talking about is more psychological benefits.
It is.
You know, physiological benefits that I think are equally as important because they sit there, they're lonely, they don't eat very well, you know, because who wants to cook for one?
And often as they get a little older, they forget whether they've eaten or not. And
This
that
is true.
becomes a very significant issue. If you
Yeah.
have a parent or a grandparent who is losing weight,
Mm-hmm.
you can, if you were to watch them as a fly on the wall would all day long, you would see that they're skipping meals
Mm-hmm.
because they forget about lunch or they
Mhm.
forget about dinner unless you're there to prompt them
Yeah.
towards it. And
Well,
it
and
makes
my
a
own
big
mother,
difference.
she watches this, so she'll kill me, but my own mother-in-law was at Carrington Point.
Mm.
A great place,
Yeah.
you know, we put her there
I'm
on
in there
purpose.
often myself.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this is a few years back, and, you know, they have great meals, but sometimes she just wouldn't even go.
Right.
It's like, all you gotta do is walk down the hallway, you know, I mean, but she wouldn't go. So luckily we were able to, and one of the reasons we put her there specifically is because we lived around the corner at the time. So we would go 2 or 3 times a week and have dinner with her. One, because you wanted to be with her, but 2, to make sure she ate,
Exactly.
you know, and so especially being at home, how much more so are people not going to do the right thing and snack on junk food and stuff that doesn't give any nutritional value?
And it's those interactions they get mostly during mealtime and the activities in a good community that make the difference. And every
Good point.
medical clinic and major research university that's looked at it, the more interaction they have, the stronger they will be mentally for the longer period of time. Staying at home is actually a detriment when
Yeah.
you talk about keeping your cognitive ability
Mhm.
in tune so that you can interact on a daily basis with people.
Mhm.
It's a use it or lose it scenario.
You know what?
If
I've
you
heard
don't
that
get
before.
active, you're going to have a problem later in life.
Mhm.
It's just part of it. You need to be physically active as well as mentally active.
Mhm.
In interactions with other people your own age, your memories are the same periods of time. You
Mhm.
can really talk to
We have a
people.
lot in common.
A lot in common, and it makes
Mhm.
a huge difference.
Yeah.
And many people, they get nervous when they start having the senior moments where they
Sure.
start forgetting a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't want other people to know that. What they don't realize is everybody's in that same boat. And what they really
Yes.
need to do is have the interactions which will improve their ability to recall and
Oh, yeah,
improve
makes sense.
their ability
Sure.
to function with everybody around them.
So we're working against ourselves.
And it's a psychological problem, as you mentioned. And
Mhm.
everybody that I work with, it's a problem for all of them.
Yeah.
Making that transition from
Mhm.
no interactions at home to more interactions,
Mhm.
which they then begin to really look forward to and love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, after a short time, you know, my mother-in-law was glad, and it's kind of funny because circumstances was more so that we, you know, were very adamant about her living there because of her health. So it really wasn't her decision. And a couple months later, it was always about, whenever she talked to anybody, is I'm so glad I made the decision to go there. You know, we're like, we are too, Mom, seriously, you know. And so, well, you know, I know that I think after the break, we're going to get into a little bit more about your company and what you guys do and why that's so important. But this is a great subject, and I want to maybe just extend it a little bit because there's a lot of people that come to me when they're checking out, if they need our services. And one of the first things they always say is, we're going to do everything we can to keep mom at home.
Right. And that's a great promise to make for your own mind, your own
So I was going
well-being.
to ask you, is that more for us?
It is.
Because we're trying to honor our parents' wishes, or?
It's a guilt factor.
Yeah.
And it's what it is. And the
Yeah.
reality is that's not the best place for them unless they're still very young and vibrant and still very active in their community and maybe in their church and maybe in other social
Sure.
organizations.
Yeah.
But if they're going to just stay at home for as long as possible, then it's even a more difficult move for them when they do turn 89 or
Oh, yeah.
90,
Yeah.
and they are then physically unable to participate as well, and they're mentally not able to keep up
Sure.
with what's going on around
Sure.
them.
Folks, if you think about this for a minute, this is really rich. How many people do you know that are 85 and above that are really vibrant and healthy and, really still sharp mentally, that are not involved in activities or groups outside of their home? If you really thought about it, I'll bet there's not too many.
Yeah. A very small percentage.
I would think so, and I'm thinking of a few that I know now that are well into their 90s. We talked about one, give him a little shout out. His name is Bill Welch. He's at Twilight Haven. He's one of the most sweet men that I've ever met in my life. He'll always bring a bottle of wine to the office when he comes, or he'll bring even things that he's cooked. A few times he's brought me scampi that he made himself, and he's actually really good at it, so I love it when he does it. But he is active. He's on the board. He's always helping people. Jen was mentioning that he goes and buys fruit every week for all of the other residents who can't get out. This guy wakes up with a purpose, and he's got a skip in his step. He's just a great guy, but he doesn't stay home.
And that's the key. The more interaction you have, you're using all of your faculties. You keep yourself sharper. It's just an important factor.
Wow. Probably good for us that are in our 50s to remember as well, because I've got a few friends. I actually had a friend retire the other day, and I'm 52 is like, what are you going to do? You got to do something. You got to have a reason to get up, and I'm sure that he does. But a lot of times people start thinking, well, I've kind of passed my way and I've made it. This isn't quite honestly, this isn't your first career, is it?
No.
No. And so I know that
I'm a retread.
you are. So and I think it's awesome. So folks, after the break, we're going to visit again with David from Assisted Transition. We're going to talk about what makes them so special in my mind, and also why you should listen in and hear about their services. They're awesome. So we'll be right back at Truth for Seniors.
This segment has been brought to you by Horn Photo in the Bellagio at River Park. For all of your photo and camera needs, go to Horn Photo in the Bellagio at River Park.
Family photos tell your stories. Faces, places, milestones, and moments. You probably meant to preserve those memories. But where are those pictures now? Hiding in boxes or inside the discoloring pages of old albums? Do you own hours of home movies and videotapes that you can't even watch? Slides and negatives that you've saved for all these years and never get to see? Think of all those precious memories that you've saved from the past to share with the future. Thanks to technology, we're taking more photos than ever, but we're not printing them like we should. Those digital images are held hostage on phones, tablets, and hard drives, leaving them as high-risk targets for accidents and hardware failure. What will happen to all of these images that tell your life story? Cherish those captured memories, not by hiding them, but by safely saving them. Put this overwhelming task on your own agenda, or enlist Horn Photo's expertise. Horn Photo provides hands-on help from day one with organizing, scanning, restoring, and duplicating photographs. We can digitize your print and video memories onto DVD for easy viewing and safe, efficient storage. All you need to do is gather your prints, slides, negatives, and videos, then bring them into Horn Photo, where we will care for your cherished memories. In most cases, You can pick up your originals and your DVD within a few days. Once everything is on DVD, it's easy and affordable to order copies of your DVD for your children, siblings, and the rest of your family, so that you can share your memories with everyone. The best part is what can happen once your memories are digitized. We will show you how to transform your pictures into keepsake photo gifts and products you can enjoy for years to come. Don't wait for a disaster to destroy your collection of memories. Take steps to sort, save, and share your life in photos, whether you do it yourself or have Horn Photo help. Stop into Horn Photo and see our full range of solutions for saving and sharing your precious memories.
You can advertise your business, your product, or your event on Central Valley Talk, the Valley's only internet television station. Several of our programs are also picked up on Dish and cable networks. For the best advertising dollar, call Central Valley Talk at 579-1360.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Greg Steen with Truth for Seniors. Welcome back. The hour has gone by pretty quick, and so we're in our last segment here, and glad to have you with us. Appreciate all the feedback that we're getting. You know, when you're looking for information, whether it's pertaining to how to care for your parent who's aging, or if you're the one that feels like, well, I better get my ducks in a row, truthforseniors.com is a great place to start. This TV program every Wednesday at 2 is a great place to start. Our guest has his own blog, which we'll mention in a minute. It's a great resource for information. Truth for Seniors blog, you can find it on the web, is a great resource. A lot of experts providing information. Everything from legal information, tax information, Medicare information, Social Security information, healthcare, geriatric care nurses, placement services, assisted living, pros and cons, residential care, all these types of things, veterans benefits, nursing home information, long-term care Medi-Cal information, blasting through the myths and the facts about all these things is a great place to start. So Truth for Seniors, we are here to serve you and to give you the information that you've asked us to provide, and also we just know that most people are looking for, because that's what we get in the phone calls every day, that's what we get in our emails, that's what we get when we sit down and belly to belly, if you will, have that time to hear from you and see how we can help you. And so check us out, watch us, favorite us, follow us, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, everything you can do, you'll find it at Truth for Seniors. And so we have been with Mr. David Mose, the owner of Assisted Transition Senior Living and Care Finders. They are awesome people, great company. And we were just talking a little bit about a great subject, which is, when it's good to leave a person at home, when it's not, how to kind of know when it's that time. So it kind of segues into what you guys do. So tell us a little bit about Assisted Transition.
We primarily are the one-stop shop for finding out what you need. Everything you just mentioned, needs for VA benefits, needs for estate planning, needs for financial planning. We try to associate with some experts in each one of those fields. Mm-hmm. And I refer daily to people in each one of those fields. But then we primarily bring together all of the information that a family has when they're trying to deal with their loved one, analyze it and determine what's the best for the family at that moment. Mm-hmm. Is it time to bring mom or dad out of the home, or is it time to just have them have home care?
Sure.
Which is usually transitional.
Mm-hmm.
You transition from that to some form, usually, of either independent or assisted living.
Sure.
As your abilities to cook for yourself, clean for yourself start to deteriorate.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that moment, we find the best fit for them, whether it's independent living, assisted living. I'm even helping get some people into skilled nursing right now who stayed home too long, to tell you the truth. Had a fall.
Actually common though, isn't it?
It is. A week ago, she had a fall. She is now, under her doctor's orders, she's got 10 days to find a skilled nursing facility that will take care of her. He is not going to allow her to stay home because she cannot take care of herself. She cannot feed herself any longer. And part of it's precipitated by the fall, part of it by the dementia she unfortunately suffers from.
Oh.
And that's something I do pro bono. I don't get paid for that. I help people find the best skilled nursing available in the local area. But I do make a commission when I place somebody into an independent or assisted living facility. That's my primary job.
Sure.
That I spend probably at least a third of my time on pro bono help for families.
Wow.
That's the fulfilling side.
Yeah.
It's fulfilling, but it doesn't necessarily put food on the table.
Sure.
But
Well,
our real goal is to help a family make the decisions they have to make at the time that is most appropriate. You never want to wait too long. A senior, when they get to the point where they're having trouble recognizing what they're supposed to be doing daily to take care of themselves, is probably already too long in the home by themselves. Earlier, when they can make a transition and make new friends and make new caregiver relationship friends,
Yeah.
when they go into
It's a much
independent or
better
assisted.
experience.
It is.
All the way around, isn't it?
The seniors that go in when they're still cognitively available love their caregivers.
Yeah,
They become like
yeah.
family members. If
And
they
they
go
can
in too late,
communicate better with them, can't they?
They
And then
can.
you have a better caregiver as a result.
because they know what your needs are then.
Yeah.
Because you're able to communicate them. It's
Yeah.
really a pattern. It's a formula to making life work better for you. If you wait too long, many of the seniors are not only resistant, they're combative about
Yeah.
somebody taking care of them. Number one, they probably don't understand the benefits that are being given them. Number two, they just cognitively have lost their ability to understand their daily living needs.
Can I interrupt you just a minute? Because you bring up something I wasn't planning on talking about, but I think it's important. There comes a time when it's not fair, in my opinion, to try to keep mom involved in the decision-making process because she can't keep up,
Right.
and we're putting a burden on her that really isn't fair to her. But out of our heart, again, we're trying to do the right thing, and out of love, and which is admirable and honorable, respectful. But there really is that time, isn't there?
There is a moment, and my counseling to all of the families I deal with is when mom is still able to make decisions, let somebody like me talk to them,
Yeah.
because they will
Amen.
listen to me
Yeah.
where they won't listen to you.
I know it. That's so true.
You're my son, you're my daughter, you don't know.
Yeah.
I've been taking care of you all your life.
Mm-hmm.
I know the answer, you don't. And the reality is
Always the parent.
it's always something different too for
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
When someone like me comes in, or you, and you explain to them what their needs are,
Mhm.
how they can be met, and don't you really want to be able to make that decision yourself, that's a critical moment for them, because then they begin to realize if they don't participate in their own decision-making process now, when it's the best for them to be able to
Mhm.
understand it,
Mhm.
they will be lost to the system.
Yeah.
And eventually, even Adult Protective Services, in some cases, has to be called in
Yeah.
because they cannot take care of themselves, but they absolutely refuse any aid. And that's a sad moment for every family.
Yeah, it really is. So let me ask you this. When is the best time for somebody to call you and look into the benefits that you guys offer?
The moment you begin to think, I don't have the energy to keep up with my daily chores around the house,
Mm-hmm.
that's the moment to start planning. It doesn't mean you're automatically
I know
going to
some
be
people are
going
probably thinking, well, I'm already there, man, you know, and I'm only 50. What's the
I
deal?
felt that
But-
way on Saturday. I had to take a little nap. But the
Uh-huh.
point being that you start planning then,
Mhm.
so that you know what's coming up. You
Mhm.
do a couple of tours to see what these facilities and communities are like.
Get an idea of what you're dealing with,
Exactly.
your options.
And then at that point, you can make your decision that I will eventually do this
Mm-hmm.
and have it in place so that when it does become necessary, whether it's by a precipitating medical event
Mm-hmm.
or it's by any sort of other social issue, anything that comes up. The death of a loved one sometimes spirals the other loved one down.
Yeah, and it's really an act of love. You know, yes, it's a practical decision, but, you know, that's, I think, furthered by and enhanced because, you know, you love your children. You've done everything you can for the most part, to be a blessing to them and to raise them right and to, to benefit them one way or another. And so to have a care plan in place that when the time comes, they already know your wishes.
Right.
Folks, if I could tell you anything, that is such a blessing to your adult children. And if you're a boomer like I am, to be able to start asking some very, very open-ended questions to your parents, to know what their wishes are, it's huge, because God forbid, should they be in a position where someday they can't even articulate it because of a medical situation,
Right.
which, those are never planned, they just happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't ever seem to be properly prepared for a lot of times. What a great act of love it really is. Because you don't want your children making decisions for you, most of the people, and you don't want anybody having to do this in a crisis.
The crisis is the worst moment to make that type of decision.
I agree,
And
100%.
And surprisingly, seniors can actually preserve their assets sometimes by going into care more than they can at home, because the costs get to
absolutely.
be extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping yourself at home.
It really does. It really does. Well, we got less than a minute, so how do people find out about assisted transition?
They can call me at any time at 559-750-8787. They can go to my blog site, which is seniorlivingcentralcalifornia.com.
Okay.
They can also find me under assistedtransition.com and on the web, and I'm available pretty much 24/7. I get calls every Saturday, every Sunday. It's just part of the way life is.
Okay.
And I have an office in Visalia and an office here in Fresno.
Okay. Well, sir, it's always a pleasure.
It is.
I know that we'll have you on again. Folks, this is Truth for Seniors, and we have promised to give you the most accurate and up-to-date information possible from experts, and you've just heard one. And again, thanks to Jen Dahl from Twilight Haven earlier, another expert, another person that has a passion and a purpose to put you first. So with that being said, have a great rest of your day, and look forward to next week. We've got a couple special guests, and catch us on Facebook and our blog, and we'll tell you all about it. So have a great day.
And thank you.
I am a monster. I will never back down.
I am part of a tradition. I got green in my veins!
I'm ready to go!
I'm a monster!
This is our team.
This is our town! This is our barn!
This is our time.
I am relentless.
I will never get tired of the goal song.
I'm ready to go!
I will never quit.
I am a monster.
I am a monster!
I am a monster!
Watch Tim Thiessen live Wednesdays at 3 p.m. right here on CentralValleyTalk.com and on digital channel 33.2. If you missed the live broadcast, we're on every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. on Comcast channel 200 and digital channel 43.5. You don't want to miss this.
You're watching CentralValleyTalk.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com